Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Dr. Bagley. I'd like to thank you very much for joining me. Today's video is for all the young entrepreneurs out there, investors out there, to get some better understanding. I do some business consulting, and I just got done earlier this morning talking to a young guy. He questioned me of asking, how come it's so hard in raising money? And I told him, hey, dude, I'm having the same problem. But today's lesson is for young entrepreneurs or anyone who wants to start a business and how to go about with the psychology and the understanding of how to raise money. All right? I'll tell you what, let me grab this. Hey, what's up, Ellis? All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn this thing down because this is like jamming. I'm over here jamming in my office a little bit. All right, cool. So what I want to do is I'm going to give you, like I said, for everyone who don't know, but I want to give you is a broad stroke of what I'm looking at on my board, and we'll come back and we'll talk about it in a second. All right, let's go. So here's the thing. When I was 14, 18, I didn't look like this. I was in poverty. But this, I want you to understand, CEO, VP, and worker position. Now, I grew into, in context, this because CEO, they need the money, right? And they need to become rich. The VPs are looking for middle class. Let's use the workers as I don't want to be rich. How many times have I heard that? Personality. We're going to get into personality, character, and traits. What does that mean? That means honest, time management, work hard, and gratitude, giving back. Those are the traits. Characteristics is trustworthy leader. All right. Why am I trustworthy leader? Because of my traits. Personality is a one thing of describing all the characteristics, and that's good for, bad for, right? Okay. Good for what? Good for business. Good for business. All right. CEO, VP, worker mentality. All right. I'll get into this in a second. Go back. Here we go. Cool. All right, let's talk about it. Guys, girls, everyone who's a young entrepreneur and you're trying to make this thing work. There's a couple things I really want you to focus on, and that is this. Don't just focus on your product or service. Now, I understand the concept. We want to have the master level product or service. We want to provide the best thing for our customers and consumers. But at the end of the day, what does investors look for? They don't look just for a product and service. They look for you. And that's one thing that you really need to grasp the concept of. They're going to look at you. Now, what do I mean by that? Come on, let's think about it. When the investor, they want to invest into a product and service. Are you a CEO, right? Just because you're structured as a CEO over here and you look like this, does this look like a CEO? No, they looking for a CEO because at the end of the day, they're going to invest into you, right? A product and service, anyone can run the company and provide the product and service, but are they going to give you the money to provide for the product and service? And if you don't understand you, your image, who you are, your skill level, your mentality, right? Your mentality is really out there, right? And that's the key. When you're a young entrepreneur, you're trying to do your thing. Investors look at you in your eye. They look at everything you do, your social media. They look at and they come up with a profile, and they ask themselves a silent question. Can I trust you with my money? The product and service may make money. I can't tell you how many times early in my entrepreneur lifestyle, when they said, I love the idea, but, right? They just love the idea, but I'm not going to invest just yet. Well, the reason they're not going to invest just yet is because they don't know me. They don't trust me. I haven't proven myself that I can take their money and do the right thing. How many times have we heard through the stories and other ways that a group of guys or girls get the money And then they buy themselves stuff. They buy themselves this. They buy themselves that. They put the money into their office. They put the money into their vehicles. And at the end of the day, they use the money and manipulated the money for themselves and the image, and not apply it where it needed to be applied. And that is to make the investor more money, called interest, or a nice return for his money. So the first thing, if I had to put it in steps for all my young entrepreneurs, the first thing is clean up your identity of who you are. If you look like you come from the ghetto, you're going to be treated as if you're still in the ghetto. I don't care if you have a PhD. If you look like you're in the ghetto, you're going to be treated as if you're in the ghetto. Now, again, we're not talking about workers. A CEO only, their sole job, there's quite a few, but we'll talk later. Their sole job is to, one, take care of problems, two, lead the company into a future, but they're only leading the company into a future because the board of directors told them where to go. Okay, in context, what makes you think that an investor is going to invest in someone who can't and don't have a leader, one, and don't have a strong board that's stronger than the CEO? And that's something that you really realize. So number one is your image. Your image is not just how you look. Your image is what you do. How are you doing what you're doing out in the community? Do you have a board of directors that's smarter than you, more experienced than you? Do they believe in the product or the service of the company equally to you? And that is the dedicating factor, the security factor, the understanding factor that investor needs, because in context, the board of director represents the investor. And if you come to an investor and say, hey, I don't have a board, it's just me, they're not going to invest just in you. They don't know you. So one, change your image. The image includes board of directors smarter than you. Change your image, not just your clothes, of course, represent, but your social media, who you date. Quite honestly, all of that stuff is wrapped around with you, the identity of you. So in other words, number one, promote yourself. Change who you are from looking like you're from the ghetto into a professional person, and then promote yourself. Social medias and all of that. Now, sometimes an investor may know you, but don't know you. I mean, I got a lot of content out there about education and teaching and experience with other businesses and so on. But at the end of the day, I need an extra hand because of the type of money that I'm asking for. So therefore, I need someone to promote me. I need to give someone the rein to say, hey, this is what I need. Can you give that to me? Go. And then let them promote me. And if they promote me, then I can still get what I want. Of course, they're going to get what they want. So Zig Ziglar is a motivational guy. Look him up. And he says, if you help others get what they want, they'll help you get what you want. So in context, let somebody else promote you. But they're not going to promote you if you look like you're coming from the hood. So change your identity. Figure out who you are and promote yourself. And then if that's not just enough, then have someone else who's already at a certain level and let them promote you and get you through the door. All right. When you get through the door or to the door and how do you keep yourself in the door? That's on you. But then the mentality of the CEO, the VP, or the working mentality kicks in. Do you have an attitude of the CEO that you represent the company? Not just the company, but you represent the board of directors. Not just the board of directors, but you also represent all the shareholders. And your objective is to represent the currency, the money that one is given and one makes. See, so the CEO's mentality is not just conceited and arrogant and all of those characters that we can name off, but he's also responsible. He's also dedicated. He is also, right, a leader. So we're going to talk about leaders. Now I said we, me, and Angel Lopez, we're going to talk about leaders later and get that more in detail. But as a young entrepreneur, you have to understand a CEO represents currency coming in, leaving out, and coming back in. And if you're not careful of that idea, then you're not going to make it. Now, if you have that mentality of I'm a VP mentality. Now, I have a product and service. It's a good idea. Everyone says it's a good idea, but you have nothing in your pipeline. See, a CEO understands that concept. A VP, he just only knows task. So a VP mentality is I'm going to just do what I need to do for the moment, and I'm going to try to make money off the moment. A good investor will not invest into that idea or that person. And then do you have a worker's mentality? I don't want to be rich. I just want to make money. Okay. That won't work either. You just won't get someone's money to be invested into you in context. So the idea, one has to change your identity, promote yourself. Again, identity is not just you. It's the board of directors. It's everything around you. Now, let me touch on that just for a second. There is no separation from business and social or your own personal. When you represent a company, it is personal. When you do something out there, you go to a bar, you get drunk, you go out there and do your thing. Don't you know it is a representation of the company? Because the CEO represents the company. You represent the workers. You represent the board of directors. You represent the investors. And if you have your social media out there and you blasting that you're going out to parties and events and all these wonderful things and you're doing your networking thing, well, that's fine. But what investor is going to invest in someone who just likes to show off and go get networking? Because I know to go to a network, you got to spend money to get into it, spend money to look like it, and spend money where there's no money being made, right? Okay. So get a hold of that idea. Personal and business. There is no separation. It is what it is. Promote yourself. 2, let somebody else promote you. And then number 3, stop with the fears. Asking for money is a fearful thing because of rejection. But you're only afraid of rejection. If you get a lot of rejection, I should say it this way. If you get a lot of rejections, then you're only getting rejections because the investors is really trying to tell you something. And what they're trying to tell you is, one, you're not ready, your image is not ready, and you don't know your product or service enough, and so on and so forth. So when you're getting a lot of rejections, just examine yourself. Don't say they don't understand it. You have to examine yourself. All right? So again, let's go back to the board and recap just real fast. All right. So again, stop. I know kids are looking like this. This is me, 14, 18. I grew out of that. You have to look professional. Not just look professional. You also have to have the CEO mentality. I'm money rich. Why? You have to think rich because you're spending money to make a product or service, and then you're bringing the money into the company by selling the product or service, and then you're giving it back to the investors who's giving you, bringing money into the company. So it's always in, out kind of deal. Don't have the CEO mentality. Don't have the VP mentality, and then work. Don't have that. Look the part, but also understand money. Investors only give to a product service, but mostly to the CEO. Promote yourself. And if that doesn't work, as you adjust, have others promote you. Have others get you the money. Okay. Now, in context, I put other investors, like you invest into the stock market, like you're understanding product and service or self um, individual kind of thing. So in context, we'll talk about this later. This the fear of self of losing money and the change. We'll talk more about that in the stock class. I just want to throw that up just so you can see it. All right, so that's the key, everyone. I really want you to understand. Young entrepreneurs, it's hard. It's always hard. But once you get that hurdle, get over that hurdle, it becomes a lot easier. It's not that it's not hard, it just becomes a lot easier. But here's the key to get over the hurdle. To get over the hurdle, you have to first look at yourself. When you look at yourself, then it becomes a lot easier. But sometimes when you have a strong board, when you have a strong self, you still need other people to promote you. So in context, always keep your network open, but not just networking for networking. Network because they can help you get the money that you need. And that's the key. If you're after the money, only network to people who knows people who can give you the money because you need that assistance. But at the end of the day, you better get yourself ready to promote yourself. Who's on your board? Can your board be stronger? Is your board stronger than you? That's all the key into that situation. All right, so this goes to my guys that I'm counseling, business consulting. I just wanted to throw this out at you guys so you can really understand and see and examine yourself. Really look at yourself and examine yourself. You represent business, but business is business. Business is product and service, supply and demand, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? I'm investing in you. Who are you? Promote yourself and tell me who you are. And if that doesn't work, as long as they have buy-in in your product or service, right? Then have someone else on your team to actually help you out. All right? Does that make sense? All right. So hopefully that helps to my young entrepreneurs. Call me. Let me know if you need some assistance. I can help you examine your social media stuff. I can help you all down. Just look, if you need some assistance, just give me a call. Let me know. I'm here for you guys. All right. So this is Dr. Bagley. I'm out. I gotta go. Gotta go back to work. And have a great day, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.